I just moved and I've been setting up my new home office and gaming stuff in my lair. I'm not done yet, but making some progress. I've got a few of these Elgato lights around to light myself properly. I've had them for a while, and for the most part, they work really well. They're really easy to set up, and I can control all of them from pretty much any device I happen to be using at the time. And after moving in, I had to get a new ISP, Xfinity. For the time being, I'm using their gateway, which I have to pay per month to rent to handle all of my Wi-Fi needs. I was able to join these key lights and the ring light over there to the new Wi-Fi network without any issue. It's real easy to do, like I said, but I really quickly noticed that some or all of them would just kind of disappear out of the control center app. They would reappear if I turned the light off and turned it back on again, but eventually they would disappear again. It was happening at random intervals. Sometimes it would be like minutes later, sometimes they would stick around for a few hours, but they would always just go away eventually, and it was super frustrating. The Xfinity app that they have you configure their gateway with was telling me that all of the lights were connected fine and that they were receiving a strong signal. So what the I bought these specifically because I can control them from all of my stuff, and I've got a lot of devices. I'm far too lazy to be flipping switches manually on those. So I decided to spend a few hours troubleshooting this to see if I can figure out what was going on. I tried a lot before getting into kind of tricky stuff. I tried factory resetting the lights. I tried rejoining them to my Wi-Fi network. I tried power cycling the Xfinity gateway. I tried reinstalling the control center app on one of my computers. None of these things fixed the issue I was seeing. So the lights would pop up in the app and then they would eventually disappear. In my previous apartment, I had set up a network that was, I would consider, pretty professional. Had switches, routers, different access points going around, and the lights were working perfectly fine on that. So I kind of ruled out hardware issues with the lights. At some point, though, I remembered I had to do some trickery to actually get them to work on that. At the time, I had all of my IoT stuff segmented on a different subnet, and the tricky bit was figuring out how to reflect MDNS across subnets so that you can discover devices and stuff on pretty much a different network. That was just a setting in my EdgeMax router at the time. So I started to think that this might be a similar issue, seeing the devices would appear and then they would disappear. So I started looking around on Elgato's website, and lo and behold, these devices use Bonjour for discovery. I think how it works is the control center app uses Bonjour to discover the lights on the same network and then stores their IP addresses so that it can talk to them directly. This was a big clue. The problem now was just figuring out how to do this in the Xfinity gateway, or if the Xfinity gateway even had a setting to do that. Spoiler alert, there's not one in the mobile app. I checked, but there is a setting you can change in the Xfi gateway itself if you log into it. So I'll show you how to do that. The first thing you're going to want to do is log into your gateway at whatever IP address it happens to be at. Mine is at 10.0.0.1, which is the default for this type of gateway. I've seen them be other numbers before. They usually have the default credentials printed somewhere on them. I changed my password at some point, so yours might be different. Once you're in here, what you want to do to kind of fix all of these MDNS, Bonjour, multicast discovery issues is come down to advanced here. There's a section called device discovery. And then you're going to want to enable this setting here that's called zero config. So click enable and then click save. Your Wi-Fi is going to go out. While you do this, it takes a second to reconfigure itself. After it comes back online, it will work. For me, when I did it, pretty much instantaneously, all of the Elgato lights magically reappeared in the control center app, and I was able to once again control them very easily. If you're having a similar issue, doing this might resolve it, hopefully. Let me know in the comments if it does. That would make me really happy if I solved someone else's problem. And I happened to learn a new PowerShell command today. This DNS-SE lets you kind of search for certain devices. And on Elgato's website, they've got this _ELG._TCP for the key light air, ring light, and light strip as kind of a search, or what do they call it? A service string. If you type this in here, it will show you exactly what lights are on your network, and then other devices can use this to find them with their IP address. That's all for today though, just a quick little how-to on fixing stupid network issues. If this was helpful to you, please like, comment, subscribe, slap the bell, do all the cool stuff. It would help me a lot.